Welcome to Motor Verdict Meter, where we break down the cars that matter most and give you the verdict you can trust. Today, we're diving into a model that has something to prove. You might remember Toyota's first real stab at an EV, the BZ4X. Let's be honest, it wasn't exactly a hit. Limited range, underwhelming performance, and a name that sounded more like a printer than a car. But Toyota, not backing down. They've come back with a fresh attempt, and this time it's called simply the Toyota BZ. Cleaner name, bolder ambitions, and promises of more power and range to finally compete with big players like the Hyundai Ioniq 5, the Mustang Mach-E, and even Honda's new Prologue. So the big question is, has Toyota actually turned things around, or is this just a rebrand of old mistakes? Stick around, because we've put this SUV through its paces at the track, on the road, and on a full range test to find out. Let's start with the performance numbers, because honestly this is where the old BZ4X fell flat. Even in its dual-motor setup, it barely cracked 220 horsepower, way below the competition. But the new BZ, Toyota has cranked things up. We're talking a noticeable horsepower bump that puts it in a totally different league. And that's not just on paper. At the test track it shows. From 0 to 60, the BZ clocked 4.6 seconds. That's a huge leap forward, almost 2.5 seconds quicker than the outgoing BZ4X. In fact, it's not just better than the old one, it's now ahead of rivals like the Honda Prologue and Hyundai's Ioniq 5. For context, 4.6 seconds puts it into territory where you really feel that instant EV surge. Toyota's top speed limiter kicked in before the quarter-mile ended, which kept it from an even better time, but still, it's night and day compared to what came before. Now how does it stop? From 60 miles per hour, it braked in 122 feet. Not bad at all, though the nose does dive under heavy braking, making it feel a little unsettled. Confidence isn't quite where we'd like it to be. Against rivals, it slots in between, edged out by Hyundai, but still beating Honda's Prologue and the old Toyota setup. Handling. On the skid pad, the BZ pulled 0.86 GS. That's solid, though body roll and somewhat lifeless steering keep it from being truly fun in corners. Straight line. Impressive. Twisty roads, just okay. So if you're after athleticism, something like the Ioniq 5 will still feel sharper. But credit where it's due, Toyota clearly focused on making this SUV feel more powerful and more alive, and they've succeeded. Weight helps here too. The BZ is about 300 pounds lighter than the Hyundai, and nearly 800 pounds lighter than the Honda Prologue. That's a big deal in the EV world, because every pound matters for both performance and efficiency. Speaking of efficiency, let's get to the range test. This is where the biggest criticism of the old BZ4X lived. It just couldn't go far enough. Toyota claims this new version can hit up to 278 miles on a single charge, up from about 220 before. That's a major step forward. We ran it through our real-world test cycle. 60% city, 40% highway, averaging around 40 mph. The same way we test every EV so results are consistent. After hours on the road, the final number came in at 276 miles. Just under Toyota's estimate, but still, a big win compared to before. It doesn't quite reach Tesla Model Y levels of range, but it's competitive with Ioniq 5 dual motor and leaves the Prologue behind. That's a meaningful leap, and it makes the BZ a genuinely usable EV for daily life, not just a compliance car. But performance and range are only half the story. Let's step inside. Toyota redesigned the dashboard, and it's cleaner, smarter, and more practical. The screen been pushed back a bit, which opens up space for dual wireless charging pads. Finally, a simple but very welcome touch. Climate controls have been moved into the screen, which usually gets a thumbs down from us. But here Toyota softens the blow. Physical knobs for temperature remain, and you can hide less used controls to free up map space. It's a decent balance between modern and functional. The back seat, though, that's where the BZ shines. At just under 6 feet tall, I still had tons of legroom with the seat set where I'd normally drive. On this limited trim, rear seats are heated, and Toyota added ultra-powerful USB-C charging ports. These aren't just for phones. They push 60 watts, enough to run a MacBook or even a small console. For families or road trips, that's a brilliant feature. Driving impressions on the road reflect what we saw on the track. That extra horsepower makes daily driving so much smoother. Merging, passing, cruising, it all feels effortless now. The seats are comfortable, with good support for long drives, and Toyota did a solid job with heating and ventilation. 4 region levels let you dial in how much one-pedal feel you want, and even at max it's smooth, not jerky. But not everything's perfect. The digital instrument cluster sits high, almost like a halfway HUD, which I like in theory. But you have to set the steering wheel low to see it fully, which feels a bit awkward. It also crams too much small info in at once. Safety icons everywhere, hard to read at a glance. Then there's Toyota's driver assist systems. The attention monitor camera is positioned poorly, so if you rest your hand on top of the wheel, it blocks the camera and constantly yells at you. And turning it off is a pain. You have to stop, park, and dig through menus. Plus, it resets every time you restart the car. Add in the hands-free driving system that constantly switches on and off below 25 mph, and you've got safety features that feel more annoying than helpful. Toyota needs to fine-tune the user experience here, because no one wants a car that nags more than it assists. So what's the verdict? The Toyota BZ finally feels like a serious contender. The range is no longer an embarrassment, the performance finally matches the segment, and the interior is smarter and more practical. Yes, it's still not the most fun SUV to drive in corners, and the safety systems are frustratingly overactive. But overall, Toyota has done what it needed to do: catch up. This isn't about leading the pack yet. It's about proving that Toyota can build an EV you'd actually want to own. And now they can. Pricing has also shifted slightly. While Toyota advertises a lower starting price, that's for a new, smaller battery trim. Compare apples to apples, and most versions are up about $1,500. The limited AWD model we tested now sits just under $47,000. Considering the improvements, that's still fair value. So has Toyota redeemed the BZ name? I'd say yes. If you wanted a Toyota EV before, you had to sacrifice too much. Now you don't. And that makes this one of the most important updates Toyota has rolled out in years. Thanks for watching Motor Verdict Meter. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Toyota's new BZ, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe for more honest car reviews, and hit the bell so you never miss what's next. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Would you take this over an Ioniq 5 or Mustang Mach-E? Until next time, keep driving smart.